The following content is supported by victoris.org.
Yeah, new blank app. So okay, the instructions new blank app. Okay, and then
Can.
then now we can change the name to to-do list. Can. Okay, now we drag and drop a title over, just as last time. Drag and drop one of the
Your video very fast, huh?
I think I slow it down lah. 0.5. This one I'll convert into a PowerPoint format so that it's easier. I just was lazy. Cause I think they locked me out of my PowerPoint, so I just stopped using it. Yeah. So you change the text to to-do list app. Can?
Okay.
Okay, then now drag and drop. You see this one? This one over here, the one with the drop down.
Drag.
Yeah, drag and drop that over here.
Okay. Yeah.
And then rename the drop down, right? Rename it to drop down, drop underscore down without the one. Okay, then you add a new component and drop a text box over this one.
Okay.
Below the drop down list, the text box rename to new underscore item.
Can.
Okay, then now scroll down to the text part of the new underscore item, or the placeholder, and write new item. That's where you type in the new item that you want to add to the to-do list. Okay, then you add new component again, add a button in between the two, and you can change it to button underscore delete.
Okay.
This will help delete a item in the to-do list. The text you can just say you can write delete item. Can? Okay, now drag and drop another button over to. You can try to. Okay, so you see the positioning, right? You drag and drop until you see like. You see this, if you hold it over, like there's a line.
Blue, yeah.
Yeah. So drag and drop there. Then you can rename it to button underscore add and change the text to add item.
Okay, can.
And now go to the add item, click on the button, click add. Click on the click event. So you jump over the code. Can?
Okay, can.
Over here, this one.
Yeah, can.
Then go back to the design, go to the delete item button, and scroll down and press the click. So now, okay, then inside the, okay, I just jump over to the, I'll show you the entire code. Okay, you can copy lines 13 and 14 into this def init function.
Can you explain?
Sure. You copy the code first, can? Then I explain to you. I'll show you the features first, then I explain. And then inside the button add click function, you have these 3 lines.
Yeah. I think. bit funny, my one.
Okay, let me see. Let me see. Nah, it's okay. Okay. You just delete this function. Don't need. Yeah. Then you can continue the lines 18 to 21. You can put it in the button add click function.
Okay.
Now I see function, right? That we understand that already. We'll talk about more of that later.
What is the apostrophe without?
Oh, this one. It's open quote and a close quote. It's empty string.
So I also
Yeah.
do that. Okay.
It's just a string with nothing inside.
How come?
I basically want to clear the text box. The text box we have, right? This clears the text box. Whenever the user type in, when I press add already, I want to clear the text box. Otherwise, yeah, it just I'll show you later when you click run, then it'll make more sense. Okay, if you're ready, you can press run. Yeah, you can press run.
It says warning.
Oh, let me take a
Blah
look.
blah blah.
Let me take a look. Okay. To do. Oh, to do here is underscore list. See here, the to do is cell 914. To do underscore list. Yeah, you can press run. Then when you're so you can play with it. So you can select the item, delete the item. Then you can type a new thing in the new item, and when you press add item, you see that it adds a new item, right? Yeah. Okay, so does it work?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's explain the code. Okay, so the code over here, right? When you press okay, maybe I'll explain on your laptop lah. So when the code in it, when the form, when you press run, right, it actually executes these two lines. It executes these two lines because you see this is the init function. It initializes the form. So you see, previously we didn't really know what def was, but now we know. Def defines a function. This function is called init. It's a function that will be called whenever the form is opened up. When you click run, init function runs. This init components just does some other stuff in the background. And then in the init, we create a list called to do underscore list and set one item, default item to it. Okay. Then this drop down, what is this drop down over here? You look over here at the code. This one, you see, is self.drop down. It's a variable self.drop down. Okay, I'm saying this one, the items, I want to set to the to-do list. So this drop down list, when I press run, right, it creates when I press run, this drop down list would be initialized to this default item. Okay, if I added one more item over here in the code, let's say I added one more item, let's say I say default item 2, then I press run, you see that now there's two items. It's whatever this list is initialized to. I'm creating a list and I'm saying the drop down populate it with this list. Okay, so that's the startup function. Now button add click. What is button add click? If we look over here, this one, add button, I scroll all the way down, button add click. So now what are these events? These events are actually telling Anvil, which is run on Python, to say that when this button is clicked, right? When this button is clicked, see, execute this function. If you press the blue one, it shows you what function it refers to. So this function is called when the button is clicked. in previous lessons, I just said that this code is run when the button is clicked, right? But now we know that this is a function that will be called when the button is clicked. Makes more sense? There's more context to it. When we click this button, Python would call this function.
Mm.
And what happens when the function is called? It executes all the code that is inside the function, right? Right, and this code, in this case, the to-do list, right, which is this variable defined over here, to-do list, append. What do we want to append? We want to append whatever is inside, whatever the user type over here. And whatever the user type over here is in the variable self.newItem dot text. So this self.newItem dot text is whatever the user types over here. Okay, so self.append. Then now I do this one. It's basically saying populate it to the drop down. I need to do this additional step to display it out. Then now I'm saying selected value, right? I basically saying select the new item. This line is not super important, right? It's just a bit cosmetic in that whenever I add a new item, I want to select the item immediately. If I didn't have that line, it wouldn't jump to the item immediately. Just so that I can know that the item was added more clearly. Okay. Okay. Then now new item dot text. This just sets the text box in here to empty, because whenever I add a new item, I added a new item already, right? I want to clear this text box. When I press run, you see it clears it out. Now I can add a new thing without typing. If I didn't have that line, then my old text will still be there. It's a bit annoying to manually delete it. Yeah, so okay. Now that leaves, so that's for the add button. That leaves the delete button. This delete button, what is this function? This function is, if I go over here, delete item button, scroll all the way down, you see this button underscore delete underscore click is a function that is run when the delete button is clicked. And what does it do? Remember we did the dot remove, right? We did the remove function. It removes the selected value of the drop down. It removes the item from the to-do list, and then it updates the drop down. Okay. So in summary, right, there's three functions over here. This one is run. The init function is run when it says any code that you run here before the form opens up. It will execute once when the form starts. Then after that, this function is the add item button. What do I want to do when I add an item? I want to append it to the list of to-do list, right? The to-do list stores the items in the to-do list. Now I want to show the to-do list to the screen, to the drop down, and then I want to select the item so that people can see it appear, and then I want to reset the text box to blank. This one, so when I delete, so that's for the add. When I delete, I want to remove the item from the to-do list, and then I want to update the drop down to the whatever to have the updated values. Make sense? Yeah. So so that's about it. Any questions?